Hi, welcome to another junior number video. We're going to talk about subtracting integers now. Now, here's the key thing. When we subtract a positive integer, we always move to the left. Subtracting, we move to the left if it's a positive integer. However, if we subtract a negative integer, we need to move in the opposite direction, which ends up being to the right. So let's go through a couple of examples of each. Here's example 1. 2 subtract positive 3. So here's our number line, we're starting at 2 and we're subtracting a positive integer, which means we're moving to the left. We're going to move to the left 1, 2, 3 times and we end up at our answer of -1. So 2 subtract positive 3 is equal to -1. Now, what on earth is happening here? When we subtract a positive, subtracting a positive really is just the same as subtracting or minusing. So really, 2 subtract positive 3 should just be written as 2 minus 3. And 2 minus 3 makes -1 because we start at 2 and we move to the left 3 spaces to get to -1. Right, here's another example. What about -3 subtract positive 2? Well, this is the same as before. Here's our number line. This time we're starting at -3. And we're subtracting a positive integer. When we subtract a positive integer, we move to the left. So we've got to go to the left 1, 2 places. Here we are at -5. Our answer is -5. -3 subtract positive 2 is -5. Well, once again, this subtract and the positive really is just the same as a subtract and positive just makes a subtract or a minus. So really this problem should have just been written as -3 subtract 2. And -3 subtract 2 makes -5. Start at -3, move to the left 2 places to get to -5. Okay, let's move on to example 3. What about this one? 1 subtract -3. 1 subtract -3. So here's our number line. We're starting at 1. Now, when we subtract a negative integer, we are subtracting -3. So when we subtract a negative integer, we've got to move to the right. We've got to change direction, move to the right. So we're going to go to the right 1, 2, 3 places and end up here at 4. So we could write down +4, but most of us are just going to write down 4 because we don't write the positive sign. Now what's going on with the subtract negative? Subtract negative. Subtract negative suddenly looks like it just becomes a plus. We could replace a subtract a negative with a plus and just go 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4 or +4. All right, what about this example? -3 subtract -2. -3 subtract -2. Well, we're subtracting a negative integer. So what does this mean? We start with our number line. We start at -3. We are subtracting a negative integer. That means we move to the right. When we subtract negative, we move to the right. And we're going to go to the right 1, 2 squares. So we end up here at our answer, which is -1. So again, what's going on here? This subtract and negative just needs to be replaced with a plus or a positive. A plus, I mean. So we need to rewrite this as -3 plus 2, and the answer is -1. So we start at -3, and when we plus 2, we move to the right 2 squares to get to -1. Right, so what have we learned in this video? When we subtract a positive, we move to the left, which is a subtract. But when we subtract a negative, we move to the right, which is a plus. So, therefore, let's have a quick look. Oh, these little smiley faces may help you remember that. But I want to show you all 4 key ideas from adding and subtracting. Here they are from this video and last video. When we add a positive, it's just plussing. When we subtract a positive, it becomes a minus. When we add a negative, it becomes a minus or subtract. And when we subtract a negative, it becomes a plus. These are the key ideas you need to learn about adding and subtracting integers. Awesome. Hey, thanks very much for watching.